Heading: EIA Review. Side heading 1. Meaning of EIA Review. First point. EIA review is the process of examining and evaluating an environmental impact assessment (EIA) report before making a decision on project approval. Second point. It checks whether the EIA report is complete, accurate, and scientifically acceptable. Third point. It ensures that environmental impacts and mitigation measures are properly considered. Heading: Applications of EIA Review. Side heading 1. Decision Making. First point. Helps authorities decide whether a project should be approved, modified, or rejected. Side heading 2. Environmental Protection. First point. Ensures that potential environmental impacts are identified and controlled. Side heading 3. Quality Improvement of EIA Reports. First point. Helps improve the quality, accuracy, and reliability of EIA studies. Side heading 4. Public Confidence. First point. Ensures transparency and increases public trust in environmental decisions. Heading: Who reviews EIA report? Side heading 1. Regulatory authorities. First point. Government environmental authorities review EIA reports before granting environmental clearance. Second point. In India, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change (MEFC) and State Environmental Impact Assessment Authorities (SEIA) review reports. Side heading 2. Expert Committees. First point. Expert Appraisal Committees (EAC) and State Expert Appraisal Committees (SEC) evaluate technical aspects of EIA reports. Second point. Experts from environmental, technical, and scientific fields participate in the review. Side heading 3. Other stakeholders. First point. Local authorities, affected communities, and public representatives provide comments during public consultation. Heading: Steps in EIA Review. Side heading 1. Completeness Check. First point. The reviewer checks whether all required information is included in the EIA report. Second point. Missing information and deficiencies are identified. Side heading 2. Technical Review. First point. Scientific methods, data quality, and impact predictions are examined. Second point. The accuracy of environmental analysis is verified. Side heading 3. Impact Assessment Review. First point. Predicted environmental impacts are evaluated. Second point. The significance of impacts is examined. Side heading 4. Mitigation Review. First point. Proposed mitigation measures are checked for effectiveness. Second point. Environmental management plans are reviewed. Side heading 5, Decision Making. First point, based on the review, approval, modification, or rejection of the project is recommended. Heading, Criteria of EIA Review. Side heading 1, Completeness. First point, the report should include all necessary environmental information. Side heading 2, Accuracy. First point, data, analysis, and predictions should be scientifically correct. Side heading 3, Relevance. First point, the report should focus on important environmental issues related to the project. Side heading 4, Adequacy of mitigation measures. First point, proposed measures should effectively reduce environmental impacts. Side heading 5, Public participation. First point, the concerns and opinions of affected people should be considered. Side heading 6, Compliance with regulations. First point, the EIA report should follow environmental laws, guidelines, and standards. Heading, Effectiveness of EIA Review. Side heading 1, Improves decision quality. First point, helps authorities make informed decisions about projects. Side heading 2, Reduces environmental damage. First point, identifies risks early and ensures suitable control measures. Side heading 3, Promotes sustainable development. First point, balances economic development with environmental protection. Side heading 4, Increases transparency. First point, encourages public participation and accountability. Heading, Methodology of conducting an EIA review. Side heading 1, Document review. First point, the EIA report and supporting documents are examined. Second point, the completeness and quality of information are checked. Side heading 2, Screening of environmental issues. First point, important environmental concerns are identified. Second point, significant impacts requiring attention are selected. Side heading 3, Evaluation of impact predictions. First point, impact assessment methods and predicted results are analyzed. Second point, accuracy and reliability of predictions are verified. Side heading 4, Assessment of alternatives. First point, different project alternatives, locations, and technologies are evaluated. Second point, the environmentally best option is identified. Side heading 5, Review of mitigation and monitoring plans. First point, proposed mitigation measures are assessed. Second point, monitoring programs are checked for effectiveness. Side heading 6, Preparation of review report. First point, final review findings and recommendations are documented. Second point, The report supports the final environmental clearance decision. Heading: Conducting a review of the EIA review. Side heading 1, meaning. First point: conducting an EIA review involves systematically examining the EIA report to check its quality, completeness, and reliability. Second point: the review ensures that all environmental issues are properly addressed before project approval. Heading: Examining conformity to basic requirements. Side heading 1, meaning. First point: this involves checking whether the EIA report follows required guidelines, standards, and legal requirements. Side heading 2, Basic requirements checked. First point: completeness of information. The report should contain all required details about the project and environment. Second point: compliance with regulations. The EIA should follow environmental laws, guidelines, and approval procedures. Third point: accuracy of data. Environmental data should be reliable, updated, and scientifically collected. Fourth point: identification of impacts. All significant environmental impacts should be identified. Fifth point: mitigation measures. Suitable measures should be proposed to reduce environmental damage. Sixth point: Environmental Management Plan, EMP. The report should include monitoring and management plans. Seventh point: public consultation. Public concerns and stakeholder opinions should be considered. Heading: evaluation of comprehensiveness of information for each phase of project life cycle. Side heading 1, meaning. First point: the EIA review evaluates whether sufficient information is provided for all stages of a project's life cycle. Second point: it ensures that environmental impacts are assessed from project development to closure. Heading: Greenfield projects. Side heading 1, meaning. First point: greenfield projects are new projects developed on previously undeveloped land. Second point: these projects require complete environmental assessment because there is no existing infrastructure. Side heading 2, EIA information required for greenfield projects. First point: site selection phase. Information about alternative locations, land use, and environmental sensitivity should be provided. Second point: design and planning phase. Details of technology, resources, and project layout should be evaluated. Third point: construction phase. Impacts related to land clearing, dust, noise, waste generation, and resource use should be assessed. Fourth point: operation phase. Impacts from emissions, wastewater, waste disposal, and resource consumption should be analyzed. Fifth point: closure phase. Plans for restoration of land and management of remaining waste should be included. Heading: Brownfield projects. Side heading 1, meaning. First point: brownfield projects are modifications, expansions, or redevelopment of existing projects or industrial sites. Second point: they are developed on previously used land with existing infrastructure. Side heading 2: EIA information required for brownfield projects. First point: existing environmental conditions. The current status of air, water, soil, ecology, and social environment should be assessed. Second point: existing pollution and impacts. Previous environmental problems and contamination should be identified. Third point: expansion or modification impacts. Additional impacts caused by project changes should be evaluated. Fourth point: resource requirements. Increased demand for water, energy, and raw materials should be analyzed. Fifth point: mitigation and improvement measures. Measures to reduce existing and future environmental impacts should be included.